Across Iran, anti-government protests have raged for more than a week. Authorities are using live rounds to put down the dissent. Women have risked their lives to burn their headscarves in defiance of Iran's religious laws and morality police.
This movement, this uprising, it's a battle of life and death. There is nothing in between.
For decades, Iranian women have been forced to wear traditional Muslim headwear or hijab when in public.
Let me just give an overview of what the compulsory veiling laws in Iran are and how they lead to the continuous arrest. Appearing in public without a headscarf in Iran is punishable by imprisonment, flogging, and fines. The morality police stops women and scrupulously assesses how many strands of hair they are showing from under their headscarf, how much makeup they are wearing, or how loose or tight their uniforms and overcoats are.
The protests were sparked by the death of 22-year-old Kurdish woman Mahsa Amini, who was stopped by morality police in the capital Tehran on September 13 for reportedly wearing tight pants and improper hijab.
According to several women who were present at the time of her arrest, she was violently pushed into a morality police van, and while in the van and while being taken to the detention center, she was subjected to torture and other ill treatment, including beatings to her head.
These are the last pictures of her alive.
Several hours after her arrest, she fell into a coma and was taken to a hospital in Tehran. According to a statement that the hospital issued, by the time that she was taken to the hospital, she was showing no signs of life and was brain dead. She was in a coma for 3 days, and on the 16th of September, she died.
The video was released by Iranian authorities who claimed Mahsa Amini collapsed at the detention centre due to a heart condition, a claim rejected by her family and human rights groups.
Her family has expressed serious concerns that the footage has been manipulated and cut deliberately to cover up the truth.
Her headstone reads, "Martyrs don't die." Amnesty International has documented the deaths of dozens of young Iranians who were demanding the end of decades of strict enforcement of compulsory hijab laws.
They arrest women and young girls for what they call bad hijab or loose hijab, not for appearing in public without hijab at all. It was in this context that Mahsa was arrested, similar to thousands of other women and young girls who've been arbitrarily arrested over the past 4 decades.
Iran has been a theocracy since the Islamic Revolution in the late 1970s, when the followers of Ayatollah Khomeini overthrew the US-backed royal family.
I was 4 years old when the revolution happened, and then I went to school on the same year that they imposed Islamic hijab on all students all over the country. So I was one of those first generation of being victims of these rules. So it's just 43 years. Then now there are millions of people who doesn't want this constitution.
Shadi Sada lived in Iran for over 30 years before she left. She's now in London, where she founded the Justice for Iran organisation.
White feminists are worried about our culture or consider hijab as our culture, as a part of our culture, because our culture, like your culture, like any other country's culture, is not a homogeneous thing. Living as a woman in Iran is very difficult because you live in a country that look at you not as a human, as a sex object.
The only country that enforces hijab on women, it's Iran and Afghanistan under Taliban. Because compulsory hijab is the main pillar of religious dictatorship. It's the most visible symbol of gender apartheid regime.
While Iran's government continues to crack down on the protests, it's promised to investigate Mahsa Amini's death.
آیا قصور یا تقصیری انجام شده یا نشده حتما باید بررسی بشه. من در اولین فرصتی که برام امکان داشت با خانواده ایشون تماس گرفتم.
Not a single official has ever been investigated properly, let alone prosecuted and punished. World leaders, including those who meet with the Iranian authorities in the context of nuclear negotiations, must make it clear to the Iranian authorities compulsory veiling laws must be abolished, and they should not allow the Iranian authorities to invoke these narratives around culture and religion to justify discrimination against women and girls in Iran.
Compulsory hijab is not just a small piece of cloth. Compulsory hijab is like the Berlin Wall. If we tear this wall down, the Islamic Republic won't exist.